Hi everyone, this is part two of the Veterans Fraud Prevention Workshop. So there's still more to discuss when it comes to avoiding veteran fraud, so let's just jump right into it. It's probably going to be a longer workshop today. My name is Maria Hamill and I am the Learning Programs Coordinator here at Veterans Upward Bound. If you have any questions or concerns or want to talk about workshops, please feel free to reach out to us at Veterans Upward Bound. We'll have that email and contact information at the end of this presentation. So to go over what we're going to talk about today, we're going to recap what was discussed in part one of the Veteran Fraud Prevention Workshop. We're then going to jump right into some common schemes when it comes to different sectors of veteran fraud, including healthcare, disability and benefits, loans, housing, education, and memorialization. And then I have some resources for you. So in the first workshop of the veteran fraud prevention, we discussed what is fraud, how to avoid it, and so we'll go a little bit into that here. So first off, what is fraud? It is the intentional deception that results in loss of money or benefits. This is according to the VA.gov. So for more in-depth overview of veteran fraud prevention, how to avoid it, as I mentioned before, please feel free to watch the Veteran Fraud Prevention Part 1 video. I will make sure to include it in the email of this workshop so you have access to it. And I do want to mention that all of the information that we'll be discussing today in this presentation derives from the VA.gov website, and I also will have more information for you to take a look at in more in-depth information on where I got all this information from at the end of this workshop. All right, so jumping right into healthcare fraud, one of the common schemes when it comes to veteran fraud. Healthcare fraud occurs when an individual or company knowingly misrepresents or misstates something about the type, the scope, or the nature of the medical treatment or service provided, and in a manner that could result in unauthorized payments being made. So in today's presentation, in each sector, I'm going to go over some possible indicators of fraud, and then I also will include reporting information. So if you believe that you are a victim of some kind of scam or fraud, or you just want to make sure that you're not being scammed, I have the specific VA department in which you will report that fraud to. So it'll be in usually the right-hand corner of each slide, and there's a few I think that are just on the right side of the slide. But going forward, that's what you'll be seeing. So when it comes to healthcare fraud, some possible indicators include medical providers outside the VA submitting multiple claims or billing for services that were not provided during the visit, medical providers suggesting treatments that you do not need and then billing for those, suggestions of unproven medical procedures, equipment, and care, and then obviously billing for those as well, and they're not proven that they actually do work for you. Insurance scams are false representations of fact with intent to deceive, including actions taken based on misrepresentation. Some possible indicators of insurance fraud include insurance providers promising low rates and then offering insurance when you have pre-existing conditions, and suspiciously attractive insurance deals, tricking you into buying an annuity and other products where you end up paying more than the actual benefit. Persons without legal authority from the insured veteran or VA fiduciary services attempting to gain information about your VA insurance policy. A veteran's beneficiary designation is updated without knowledge. There's improper claimant or agent alleging entitlement to insurance proceeds, and claim funds are distributed to fraudulent payee. So definitely some things to look out for. Disability and pension benefits fraud. It's kind of a longer slide here. Scammers use a variety of methods to either swindle veterans out of earned benefits or convince them to apply for benefits that they're not eligible for. Possible indicators include offering to assist in preparing or filing your VA benefits application without any VA recognition, and then they will charge you a fee for this kind of service. Offering you an upfront lump sum payment in exchange for your monthly VA payments going forward. The VA benefits cannot be assigned then. Redirecting mail or benefits to a non-beneficiary, such as caregiver who is not a VA fiduciary. Requesting that the veteran move money into different accounts or reallocate investments to qualify for a VA pension payment. The advertising states that they can get you benefits faster if you do pay them for those as a fee. And lastly, referring you to a doctor or who coaches or guides you to report medical conditions that you don't have. And then you're given forms signed by the doctor that you have certified as it's true and accurate when it is not. Finance scams related to loans are when fraudulent company or individual provides a service that is not in the best interest of the individual, such as high interest rates on home and car loans, avoiding any loan asking for money up front. Legitimate lenders will not charge you a fee after your loan has been approved, not before. So they will not ask for money up front. A lender is pressuring you to take a loan with a variable interest rate, and that's when they know that you may not have the financial income to repay the loan when the interest rate increases, but they still suggest this to you anyway. Lastly, loans without any credit checks. If a lender is not asking for a credit check, then it is not a valid offer. Home loans or any type of housing scams involving mortgage lenders, brokers, and other entities that are making false promises. Make sure you look out for those. Possible indicators of fraud include requesting you to cancel any mortgage payments and then resend those funds somewhere else. Using another veteran's disability status for property tax exemption. Sending mortgage payments to someone other than your current loan servicer. Definitely a sketchy thing to do. Pressure you into sign papers and you haven't had a chance to even read through those, or maybe you don't understand and they're still pressuring you to sign them. Online scams to get first and last month's payment up front, and the property isn't even theirs to rent out, and the scammer takes your money and just runs, and you'll never be able to get that back. Lastly, home improvement scammers will offer to help fix up your home, ask for a payment up front, maybe like half or the full payment, and then they'll never complete the work, or they'll overcharge, or just won't even show up for the work. Education scams are when a fraudulent company or individual is misleading or deceiving students. Scammers will also attempt to charge veterans for services that are available for free, and no one should be charged for those. Another long slide here. Some indicators of fraud are charging for assistance in filing claims. That should not be any type of fee for that. Misreporting educational hours. Charging for books and supplies more than the market value to make a profit. Advertising a low tuition rate, and then they're billing the VA or for veteran student enrollments. Instructors teaching the classes are not the ones that are advertised. Payment is offered to students who register but do not take to attend the classes. For-profit schools may overpromise education or job opportunities after graduation. Students report that they need to sign in, but they don't even need to attend the classes. Deceptive advertisements offering debt relief for fees. Definitely a sketchy one. The school has a lack of written policies and procedures or has been unable to produce records. And then sometimes they say that those records were lost or destroyed when you need those records. Lying on the free application for federal student aid, or otherwise known as the FAFSA form, or other federal student loan forms in order to qualify for more financial aid. And then lying on any student loan application or form, such as like the parent loan, undergraduate students plus application, master promissory note, or the MPN, loan consolidation, etc. So lying on these important forms. And last scheme of the day is memorialization or end of life scams. And this is when a fraudulent company or individual provides a service that is not in the best interest of the individual. The scammer will often offer to provide services for higher rates and fees. Some indicators include solicitations claiming to be either authorized or endorsed by the government, and they are not. Upselling memorial services and funeral expenses that are not as advertised. Care providers learn bills and or explanation of benefits, otherwise known as EOBs, are being issued under their names when they did not provide the service. False advertisements that benefits have changed when they really haven't, so make sure to double check your VA representative if you're not experiencing any benefit changes, but you're seeing this, that they are changing. Scammers offering to help advocate for your loved one's wrongful death, and be wary of organizations that charge for a full financial review before helping file claims. And I want to mention that assistance is available for free through the VA DIC, and so if you're hearing from somebody that they're going to be charging you a fee for any type of services, check with the VA to see if this is assistance that you can just get for free. So I've included the contact information here at the bottom of the screen, and it's also at the top right hand. So we talked about all these different kind of schemes that can happen to veterans on many different sectors. However, that's fine and great, but like, how do we avoid this type of fraud? Seems really scary and it's prevalent, and so what do we do? So I've discussed these different types of avoiding fraud in the first part of the workshop video, so part 1, but they still hold true. So if you think that a scheme or some kind of advertisement or anything like that is just too good to be true, it probably is. Just trust your gut on that. And then if you are, unsure if maybe it is legitimate, I'm not sure, feel free to contact the direct line of the organization. So if you're, let's say, for example, someone reached out to you and they're claiming that they're from the VA and they need to update information, blah, 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 and it's making you feel a little funky, I would hang up the phone or stop contact, and I would get the number that I need to get to the direct department for the VA and call them directly myself, just to make sure that everything is good and it's a legitimate scheme. So we know that we're calling the direct organization. Do not give out your personal information to anyone, even if they have some of your personal information already. So maybe they're calling you and saying, hey, I know that your birthday is this. What's your social security number? I need to confirm one final step. It sounds like, they know this information about you already. Seems kind of safe. But I would not continue on with any more personal information unless you know for a fact you are talking with the direct organization. Do not send any money electronically to scammers. Even if they are pressuring you to act immediately. That's a common scheme or tactic that scammers use, is that they use that they want you to act right now, it's urgent, but do not send any money electronically to them. Likely you'll never get that money back because it's very hard to trace electronic money. Lastly, if you're unsure on a situation, it's seeming, maybe it is legitimate, maybe it's not legitimate, feel free to ask others' opinions on the matter before you do act. So maybe talking with a family member, friend, neighbor, the direct organization that is reaching out to you before acting and potentially giving out more information or sending money where it's not supposed to go. Just a good idea to bounce ideas off of others. So I have this veteran fraud prevention kit. It has a lot of information. We went over a lot of it today, but there's more information in here that I cannot even just fit into one workshop. So I will make sure that you have this link in the email of this workshop so you can take a look at it and really dive deep into veteran fraud prevention. Thank you for listening to this workshop today. If you have any questions, concerns, or want to talk to us at Veterans Upward Bound, please feel free to reach out to us. We have our email, phone number, and website here on the screen. Thank you, and look forward to having you at the next workshop.